Hello and welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are all right and I hope everyone is fine. Okay, before I dive into today's video, I just want to quickly say, please, for those of you who are emailing me or sending me messages and asking if I can help you with a job. Now, I do not have any job underneath my belt, neither am I working for any job agency. I'm not, okay? I'm just bringing out whatever information that I have, and because in this situation I have an inside view to the subject, so I'm just bringing out whatever information that is out there for you to inform you, so to inform you so you know what to do and to give you ideas and information so that you are up to speed with what is going on in the area, especially in the area of teaching. So please don't email me asking if I can help to find you a job. I can't look for a job for you. I am super busy. So I'm not going to sit down to be searching for a job for you. So that is your responsibility. That is your job. So you go ahead and you search for your job. You can go to the cafe. You can use your phones now and just search. Okay. So please, there's no point asking me to help you look for a job. I'm not working for any job agency or any job organization. Neither do I have 1,000 schools underneath my belt that I can call and say, do you have a job? No. Okay. I am just a teacher here in the UK doing my stuff and at the same time bringing out information to you and helping in whatever way that I can with information or support, or if I can direct you, I will direct you to where you need to go, but I cannot give you a job. Okay, I hope that is clear. Okay, now today's video was based on a request. Now some people have been asking, what do I do when I have a job interview, my lesson plan? So how do I put this together in order to be able to go for my interview? Now, most job interviews, if you're going to lesson, because they want to see that you can teach, and they'll ask you to probably make a lesson plan and then send it to them. Now, when you make a lesson plan, it's not for you to keep, okay? So don't say, okay, I'm just going to make a lesson note, my own notes that I am going to use for that to teach that lesson. No, they would want to see a lesson plan. So you go online, find some of them might send you a lesson plan format, some might not. Go online, go to TES, there's lots of lesson plan formats, find them and then use those to plan your lesson, because they want to see that you can plan a lesson. So it's not about you just teaching. They want to see that you can plan the lesson. And for some people, you might not be aware, but in schools, it is mandatory that you either send your plans every week to your head teacher, or you send your plans to the school intranet. So the school might have maybe like a shared Google Drive that's specifically for the school. So you have to submit your plans into those. So your head teachers can look. My previous school, you will email your plans to the head teacher every weekend, and she will have a look at them just to ensure that you are teaching the right thing and that you are following the path. Others, my new school, just put it on the shared drive where everybody can access it if they need to. So lesson plan is not for you to keep, it's for them to see that you can plan. Okay, now they might say send it to us, they might not say anything, but I think for me it is right that you send, if you plan the lesson, it's right that you send that lesson plan to them. So they might say send it on the day on the interview, we want to see your lesson plan, or email it to us a day or two before the interview so we can have a look at it to ensure that you are teaching all that you need to teach. So please make sure you have a lesson plan. Now, when you're doing your lesson plan, when you are differentiating, okay, so differentiating basically means when you are putting the children, because of course they also want to see that you can differentiate, because not all children are on the same learning platform or on the same learning trajectory in class. Different children you have fast learners, you have slow learners, you have others who need additional support. So they will want to see that you have differentiated in your plan. If you just make a plan that one plan fits all, then that is a no-no for me. Okay, if I'm looking at a plan and I see that it's one plan fits all, that's gonna ring certain bells to me, because in a class, no 30 children are on the same learning speed. Okay, so if you are to differentiate your lesson, be very mindful of the words you're using in your lesson plan. Okay, Be very mindful of the words. So sometimes we use low ability, high ability, and middle ability. Okay, so these are some of the words that you use. Even at that, those words are in contention at the moment. Okay, so you might, so when you do that, don't use less able. Some people do less able, more able, and all of that. But be very careful of the words, because now this plan is going to go to the interviewing panel, and you don't want to use a word that sounds more derogatory. So you're not looking like children who can't and children who cannot. That is going to be at the extreme. Okay, so make sure that you're using words that doesn't raise anyone's eyebrow in your lesson plan. I'll probably say go for emerging, expecting, and working at greater depth. So these are just so wrong. So you have the greater depth. So these are those who are high flyers. Then you have the expected. So these are the middle, the ones and your middle ability. And then you have your developing, or your developing. So these are the ones who are your low ability. So you can use words like that rather than can do it, cannot do it. It just sounds a little bit if you use words like that, it's just a little bit too much at the extreme. Okay, so make sure that you are using appropriate words in your lesson plan. Make sure that you show differentiation. Now make sure that you have an activity for them to do. In the UK, there is less of note copying. Okay, now Africa, where I did most of my schooling, primary schooling, you find that we tend to copy notes from the teacher. The teacher will write a note at the board and then you copy those. In the UK, nobody copies any notes. Okay, so even if you want to copy notes, it's not like a whole lesson. No. So basically you teach a lesson and you come up with an activity that will help them in their learning for what you've just taught. Okay, so for instance, if you're teaching an English lesson, so let's say you are teaching a lesson on let's see what English, well, you're teaching a lesson on spelling. Okay, then you have to find words that you have taught. Maybe say if you're teaching some spelling rules, you have to find words that contain those spelling rules, and then you dictate those words to them, then they write. But for you to now start saying, okay, you copy a note, this spelling rule is this, you use it to do that, no, that's not going to fly. Okay, so you do the teaching and then you find an activity. So for instance, if you are reading a book, let's say for literature in English, you are looking at a book, Macbeth or something. So they read a section of the Macbeth book. Now, rather than getting them to copy a note about the section of book that they've read, you can think of an activity to go with that piece of reading. So for instance, can you summarize what you've read? What happened in this bit of the story? What did you deduce from what you've read? Can you explain what this person meant by saying this? That is how we teach here in the UK. We don't copy notes. So when you make a lesson plan and you say, oh, the children will copy notes as I go, nope, that is not going to fly at all. So teach your lesson and then find an activity that corresponds with that lesson for the children to do for that piece of work. Now, these are the main things that I needed to just point out when it comes to getting ready for your interview. Again, it might be, I'm more focused about the lesson plan rather than anything else. The interview, I mean, there's a speaking part interview where you have to talk to the panel. That one, it depends on what. I think I've done a video on that about questions that they might ask you. So if you're not sure, go back to that video and have a look at questions they might ask you. But for today's video, I'm basically looking at the lesson plan that you need to do. Number one, you need to email them the lesson plan. Ask them if they want to copy. If they haven't said anything about it, you can ask them, do you want a copy of my plan? If they say yes, then you email it to them. Now, in your plan, ensure that you have differentiated in your plan. And when you're differentiating, make sure that you use appropriate language to classify the children into groups. Okay, so you're not just using language that is a bit off the mark. Make sure you're using appropriate language to classify your children, to show differentiation. Then make sure that you are planning an activity for them to do rather than asking them to copy notes. It doesn't work. Okay, so this is just a summary of what I've just discussed so far. Right. Now, if you've got any comments as usual, questions, in the comment section below, and I will answer your question. Now, some people who send me emails, please be patient with me. As you know, I am super busy managing my work, managing my family, managing other things, as well as the YouTube channel. So if you send me an email and I haven't replied you, please be patient. So don't I've seen people who've sent me an email and they say, oh, I've just sent you an email. I mean, I'm not carrying my phone or my laptop all the time to be checking for comments and replying comments, okay? I most certainly tend to reply to emails on a Sunday morning, okay? So that's the time I have. So if you send me an email within the week and I haven't replied, just be patient. There is a whole lot of email list that I have to go through and reply, but I will certainly reply your email. So please just be patient and don't expect me to reply your email in the next second, in the next day, because there's, again, as I said, so many emails to go through, as well as my work and as well as other things that I am doing. So please be patient. I will answer your email when I can. Okay, my lovely, beautiful family, I will see you soon. And please, well, I will see you soon next week, sometime next week. And have a wonderful evening. Bye.